YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Jeannie and I'm a certified holistic nutritionist and certified personal trainer. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between organic and conventional food. I know people like to say the only difference is the price, and it's not true at all. There's a lot difference. So I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to try to keep this video short and sweet, just straight to the point, so you can know and then go about your day. So the difference between organic and conventional fruits and vegetables is going to be, first of all, conventional fruits and vegetables are all GMOs. And a GMO is a genetically modified organism. And the reason they modify them is to be resistant to Roundup, which is glyphosate. And if you're not aware, there was a case and verdict against Monsanto, the creator of glyphosate and Roundup, which if you don't know a little history, Roundup is the same as Agent Orange, which was used in Vietnam and caused a whole lot of birth defects. So there was recently a case and a guy won, I think it was like $2.4 million in a case against Monsanto because the Roundup that he was spraying actually caused him to have cancer. And it's pretty common nowadays. Monsanto and their Roundup and GMO crops are actually banned in a lot of first world countries. The United States is the only first world country that doesn't have it banned yet. And it's a long story, but it has a lot to do with money. So the main difference is glyphosate. Organic fruits and vegetables don't have any glyphosate or other pesticides sprayed on them. They're not GMOs and they have a higher nutrient density. The price is higher, but you get more for what you're paying for because of the nutrient density. And what that means is in a small apple, I only have organic apples, but I'm gonna show you guys something. These are both organic, but we're gonna pretend that this slightly bigger one is a GMO. So the GMO apples are actually like twice the size of this one. They're huge. And the reason they're huge is because they've been given fertilizer and growth stuff to make them grow faster so that they can fast track the crop and get more than one crop out of each season of harvest on a farm. And now that sounds like a good plan financially, but the bigger the fruit is, the less nutrient dense it is. So this small one is gonna have twice as much as like nutrients that you need, micronutrients. Your body needs micronutrients to survive, not just macros. Everybody focuses on macros, which are pretty important, they have their place. But micronutrients are what help your cells do what they're supposed to do on a molecular level. If you're not getting your micronutrients, you're gonna be nutrient deficient. So GMO fruits don't have as much nutrients, micronutrients, as the organic ones. So it may look like a higher price, but it's a higher price for a good reason, because you get more nutrients in a smaller fruit, which means you're eating less calories and getting more micronutrients. You're gonna be fuller for longer because your body isn't hungry for calories. Your body is hungry for nutrients. So when you get that hunger feeling, it's because you need sustenance. You need specific things, which causes different cravings. We crave different things when we need different micronutrients. So organic is better because you get more nutrients in a smaller meat and dairy is a little bit more complicated. Let me tell you about organic meat and dairy. Organic meat and dairy doesn't have growth hormone. They're humanely treated. There's little to no arachidonic acid. And you've probably never even heard that word before. Arachidonic acid is naturally produced in stressful situations and it's stored in muscle. And meat is muscle. It's muscle fiber. It's just harvested and we eat it. Arachidonic acid is created in stressful environments and we store it. So if I get scared in a situation, my body floods with the fight or flight response. And when that settles, all of that excess arachidonic acid that comes with the adrenaline is stored in the muscle. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie, the documentary Food Inc. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it because it explains this on such a deeper level and shows proof. They cite actual studies and proof of these things. There are big agriculture companies that refuse to comment on it because their animals are treated so horribly in what's called CAFO farms. They're concentrated animal feeding operations. That leads me into the next thing, is that conventional meat and dairy is pumped full of antibiotics. The reason they're pumped full of antibiotics, even if they're not sick, is because they're in such terrible living conditions. I don't know if you've ever seen, you know, the chicken farms where the chickens are literally like squished into cages. There's like 6 in a tiny cage, and they're living on top of each other to the point where their legs don't even work because they can't move around. They've never been able to move, so they don't even use their legs. They can't physically move. It's the same with cows in the CAFO farm. They are living in their own crap. Like, they poop and eat and sleep all in the same area, and there are some that die from, you know, different sicknesses, and they just stand on top of the dead carcasses. Like, it's not healthy, it's not okay. So these animals are pumped full of antibiotics to counteract any kind of diseases that they probably do have from, you know, the terrible living conditions. That leads me to the next thing, which is that conventional meat is, let's think cow meat. It's red, right? So conventional cow meat is actually bleached with ammonia prior to being processed and re-dyed red. Like, all meat before it's dyed red is like this white color because they bleach it to kill any possible E. coli. And yeah, it's good. They should kill E. coli, but those animals would not have E. coli if they were in better living conditions. They have to go through all these extra steps to try to make the meat healthy for human consumption, but it's really not. It's just cheaper, it's filler, and it's awful. It's awful for the environment, because there's another movie you should watch. There's a documentary on Netflix called Cowspiracy. Food Inc. and Cowspiracy are both on Netflix. You should watch them. You will not regret it. You'll thank me. You might be mad at me. You might be mad at me at first because there's a lot of information that people don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss when it comes to this stuff. It's a hot topic. I digress though. So along with the antibiotics, like, those sick cows have pus cells. Like, you know how when you have a cyst or a pimple, you know, the pus that comes out of a pimple when you pop it, that, imagine putting that on your cereal in the morning, because that's what conventional milk is like. There are 750,000 pus cells per 1 milliliter of milk. Conventional milk. Organic milk doesn't have that. Organic milk doesn't need that. Like, their cows are healthy. They're treated fairly humanely. They're pasture raised. You know, they actually have grass to eat. They're not corn fed, which is another thing. Conventional meat, they are, you know, grain fed instead of grass fed, because there is no grass. They're living in their own feces. There's no grass where they're standing. They're standing on other dead animals and feces. It's gross. So that's the difference between organic meat and dairy and conventional meat and dairy. And I know that's kind of a hard red pill to swallow, but I'm here to bring it to you. Take the pill. Grains. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about, is grains. So high fructose corn syrup, it's sugar, right? It's what they put in all of the cereals, and there was this big controversy a couple years ago about glyphosate, and they were taking the, like, you'll see boxes of cereal that now say no high fructose corn syrup, because they stopped using it because of the glyphosate, which is the pesticide that causes cancer. Organic grains and cereals automatically don't have that. In order to be certified, USDA certified organic, you have to be free of all pesticides and GMOs. No high fructose corn syrup, no chemicals. Like, it's straight, real, whole foods. That is the big difference in the grains when it comes to organic versus conventional. Now, it's a little bit more expensive to eat organic, but like I said, you're getting more nutrients in that organic meal than you would in a conventional meal, and it's gonna keep you full for longer. So it's worth it to eat organic. You're not, you know, flooding your body with pesticides and chemicals that your body plays 21 questions trying to figure out what it is until it stores it in fat. Yes, pesticides are fat soluble, which means they go straight through your heart, your liver, and your lymph nodes. They are fat soluble. They don't get peed out. They don't go through your kidneys. They don't go that way. They're fat soluble. So those chemicals and pesticides that cause cancer go straight to your heart when you eat make it easy for you guys. So almonds, I know that's gonna surprise a lot of people. Almonds are packed full of pesticides because the almond trees in California are sprayed constantly, like daily, they're sprayed. Because if they're not sprayed, locusts eat them. They're tasty. That's their natural, you know, food source. So they go for the almonds. If they're not sprayed, they will be gone. So if you're gonna eat almonds, opt for organic. Almonds are really good for you. They're a good source of healthy fats, which your brain needs healthy fats. So fat's not evil. Corn, like I said earlier, high fructose corn syrup. What do you think that comes from? Corn. So corn has been like mass produced over the last 50 to 60 years to meet the demand for the high fructose corn syrup that goes into all of the processed foods. And soda especially. Soda is the top source. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, all of them that are not diet. The diet ones are saccharin and you know, Splenda, NutraSweet, what's that big long word? Phenylalanines? Neurotoxin, basically. Don't drink those. Corn is a GMO crop, and the way that the GMOs work, like I said before, is it makes it to where they're resistant to the harsh chemicals in Roundup, which is sprayed all over them. The people wear hazmat suits and like masks and oxygen tanks while they're spraying this stuff, yet it's okay for us to eat it. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy what they get away with. But with your dollars, get organic corn because it's not covered in pesticides. It's not a GMO. It's better. It's better for you. There's actual good nutrients in corn. Corn is not evil either. Like, there's good nutrients in corn if you can digest it. But the next one is gonna be potatoes, because potatoes are mass produced for fast food. So most of the russet and Idaho potatoes, the red potatoes, the gold ones, if they're not organic, they are covered and smothered in pesticides, just so that bugs don't eat them. And they're GMOs to keep them from dying from all the chemicals and the pesticides. So if you're gonna eat potatoes, eat organic. I always get organic, like frozen fries to keep in my freezer because I love fries. So does my husband. We're Irish, so fries are delicious. Soybeans are the last one that you should eat organic, and that's because when soy is made into a GMO, like when it's genetically modified, it immediately becomes an estrogenic compound, which means it, when ingested, especially by the female body, and a lot of males as well, it starts to make your body create too much estrogen. Too much estrogen actually leads to cancer because estrogenic cells mutate and the body doesn't know what they are and they start attacking them and it forms tumors. So avoid conventional soy. If you're gonna eat soybeans or, you know, soy milk or something, just make sure it's organic because it doesn't have that estrogenic property. And I think that was it for my rant. It's not really a rant. I'm just trying to inform you guys because I realize I post a lot about fitness because it is a passion of mine, but this is my other passion. This is my first baby. Like, nutrition is so important. I know you guys have probably heard the term, you know, abs are made in the kitchen, which is true. Like, you can do crunches and sit-ups all day long, but if you don't have your nutrition in check, you're never gonna see abs. It's just true. Eat towards your goals. If your goal is to be healthy, it should start with making better decisions on your food sources, but with your dollars, because if companies, they can see in the stocks, if you're not buying their product because it is subpar or you believe it's not healthy, it will hurt them. And the more we spread this awareness, the more these companies are gonna be willing to change. Like, they have to change to meet the consumer demand. They changed their products in the 80s and the 70s to be less healthy so that they can make more by spending less money. Does that make sense? We demanded it, so they made more of it at a less healthy threshold to save themselves money. And we are still eating it. A lot of people are still eating it. Me, I'm not. And I hope you're not either. I hope you're not gonna continue eating it after I just told you all of this. The more you buy organic, those companies, the big companies, big agriculture, they're gonna take notice. It's working. okay? I know that there's been a couple of companies that are bought out by the big companies, but think of it like something like, what's that movie? Independence Day. You know how they had to get into the mothership and infect it with a virus? You remember that? So that's pretty much what these little companies do. When you buy from these little companies that have been bought out by the big companies, like those big companies notice that people like the little ones more. People like the organic stuff. So if you continue to buy from them, it's going to convince the big companies to change their way because money talks. Money fuels everything. So vote with your dollar, with nothing else. If you don't vote, at least vote with where you're spending your money because it makes more of a difference because money is so powerful. I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's pretty informative. I didn't expect it to be a 20-minute video. I'm sorry. If you watched it, I'm proud of you and you should let me know in the comments below. Yeah, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram. It's just Nutriversal Fitness. Facebook as well, Nutriversal Fitness. Visit my website, call me for a free consultation. Anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.